Hi, my name is Kajal Advani. I'm a writer and a spoken word artist, and I'll be your host and host for today. I've always wanted to say that. So I'm sure all of you are very excited, and I think this open mic this afternoon would be a lot more fun if you all can come in the first row. It's not stand-up comedy. No one will roast you. I promise. I can't promise, but genuinely, and I know people will try to take reels out of whatever they perform, and trust me, it doesn't look nice when the first row is empty. So, aa jao. Awesome. I love how everyone is so supportive of each other already. Great. We have to keep this exact vibe going. So, how many of you have come to Habitat for the first time? You don't need to raise your hand, you can scream. And how many of you are performing for the first ever time? Damn. Wow. 1 second. And how many of you have performed before but are performing at Habitat for the first time? Nice. Okay. So I'm sure all of you are feeling some amount of nervousness. Yeah? So to make you all feel a little better, I am hosting at Habitat for the first time, so I am also feeling nervous. So we are all in this together and ho jayega. But there are just a couple of house rules that we have to keep in mind. Number one, everyone has a time limit of 4 minutes. The reason this is important is so that everyone gets an equal chance to be on stage. So there's a timer behind, you can see in the left side over there. It will tell you when you come on stage, when you start, the timer will start. So just keep an eye out, and at 3 minutes 30 seconds, a light behind will flicker. Can we have the light? Yeah, and at 4 minutes, when your time is up, that light will stay on. So that's an indication, guys, waqt khatam ho gaya hai abhi. This is more strict than your board exams or any exam in school. You can't go beyond time at all. Apart from that, please keep your phones on silent. Kar diya? Very prepared audience, very prepared performers. I love this. Anyone here who's just come to watch? Oh, I love that. Great. You've come to support her? I think we need to start with a round of applause for that. That's amazing. So, I think one thing performers especially do is that when it's not our turn to perform yet, we are just like, yaar, poem revise करती हूँ, ध्यान नहीं देती हूँ. ऐसे होता है. It's very, very natural. But trust me, the nervousness you're feeling, everyone is feeling that same amount of nervousness, and everyone wants the same amount of attention you're hoping for. So try and do that when someone is on stage. Give your full attention to them. अगर phone बज रहा है, अगर मम्मी का call है तो you'll have to figure something. But किसी और का call है तो you can ignore. मम्मी का थोड़ा risk हो जाता है ना. But if you want to walk out during a performance for any reason, please don't do that. That will disturb the performer. And to everyone who is performing, please give a trigger warning. If there's anything that is dark or you think might disturb someone or trigger someone, please mention a trigger warning. And you'll have attended open mics before. Do you know about snaps and wawa? Yes. बस ऐसे ही. So if anyone doesn't know, if anyone is performing in English and you really like a line, you can snap. At the end of any performance or even at the end of my hosting, you can clap if you really want to. अभी भी कर सकते हो मेरे, thanks. I appreciate that. And if someone is performing in Hindi, तो वाह कह सकते हो, वाह क्या बात है, ठीक है? Are you all ready? Are you all excited? Should I call the first performer or should I perform something first? I'll perform. ठीक है, चलो. So, I'll just perform 2 lines actually. I had tried writing a ghazal once and it was not actually a ghazal. But it's something I think I'll just, yeah. तालियों की गूंज से कलाकार का पेट भरता है. तालियों की गूंज से कलाकार का पेट भरता है. अब तुम क्या जानो वो किस उम्मीद पे मरता है. So just keep this in mind. Keep the claps going because we have our first performer coming up. Please keep clapping for Akshat.
Hello everyone. Am I audible? Yes. Okay. Hello everyone. Myself Akshat Kotecha, and I have prepared 2-3 lines, like not 2-3 lines, but 2-3 paras. Like first one is for one-sided lovers, and second one is for like who have faced the heartbreak. सो फर्स्ट आई स्टार्ट विथ एक शेर से स्टार्ट करता हूँ मैं. तुम हो वो गुलाब जिसे, तुम हो वो गुलाब जिसे हर एक पौधा ईर्ष्या रखता है. सबको पता होगा ईर्ष्या क्या लगता है, जेलसी. तुम्हारी थोड़ी सी निखत से, तुम्हारी थोड़ी सी निखत से सारा जग महक जाता है. तुम्हारी खूबसूरती की बारे में मैं क्या तारीफ करूं, तुम्हारी खूबसूरती के बारे में मैं क्या तारीफ करूं, जिसका दीवाना होने को ये दिल बार बार महक जाता है.
क्या बात है, बहुत अच्छी.
अभी ये पोयम एक इंग्लिश में है कि कोई एक आशिक अपनी प्रेमिका को प्रपोज कर रहा है. अभी हाल ही में वैलेंटाइंस वीक गया तो. I want to meet you when sun start kissing the ocean till the moon end his calmness. I want to hear you when birds starts chirping till the echoes in the silent wood. I want to feel you when the first rain falls on the earth till the nature gets soaked on in the love. I want to love you when universe completes and everyone's destiny till the every incomplete dream starts fulfilling. At last, these two lines are my favorite. I want to be with you when everything starts fading away till my soul reaches to my last breath. अभी ये तो हो गया वन साइडेड वाला. अभी हम आते हैं हार्ट ब्रेक. तो अभी वो भी एक शेर से स्टार्ट करना चाहिए. तुम मुझे छोड़ के कुछ यूं जाओगी तो नहीं अच्छा लगेगा तुम्हें. तुम मुझे छोड़ के यूं जाओगी तो नहीं अच्छा लगेगा तुम्हें. मैंने आदत तुम्हें मूसलाधार बारिश की लगाई है. मैंने आदत तुम्हें मूसलाधार बारिश की लगाई है. ये सूखा रेगिस्तान नहीं भाएगा तुम्हें. अभी हार्ट ब्रेक हो जाता है तो याद तो ऑब्वियसली सबको आती है. तो उसके लिए कुछ लिखा है. तू अक्सर मेरी यादों में रहता है, कभी बारिश की बूंदों सा बिखर कर तो कभी फूलों की खुशबू सा महक कर. तू अक्सर मुझे दिखता है, कभी बच्चों की खुशी में तो कभी अकेले राही के गम में. तू अक्सर मेरे साथ रहता है, कभी मेरा साया बनकर तो कभी मेरा हमदर्द बनकर. तू अक्सर मुझे प्यार करता था, कभी एक आशिक सा बनकर तो कभी एक कुदरत का पूरा जहां बनकर. तू अक्सर मेरी यादों में रहता है. और ये अभी लास्ट शेर है. हर किसी की तकदीर कुछ यूं अलग सी लिखी थी. हर किसी की तकदीर कुछ यूं अलग सी लिखी थी. इसीलिए शायद हम सफ़र तो मिल जाते होंगे, इसीलिए शायद हम सफ़र तो मिल जाते होंगे, लेकिन मंजिल कभी नहीं मिल पाती.
थैंक यू, दैट वाज ब्यूटीफुल. कहते हैं कि जब तक प्यार और हार्ट ब्रेक के बारे में बात नहीं करो ना, तब तक ओपन माइक बराबर शुरू नहीं होता. सो आई थिंक दैट वाज अ परफेक्ट स्टार्ट. अमेजिंग. आई ऑलवेज एडमायर पीपल हु कैन राइट इन इंग्लिश एंड हिंदी. लाइक दो भाषा में कैसे लिखते हो मुझे समझ नहीं आता. आई हैव ट्राइड टू राइट इन हिंदी बट मोस्ट ऑफ माई हिंदी पीसेज नो वन हैज़ एवर रेड. दिस इज बैड, आई कांट शो इट टू एनीवन. So it takes a lot of hard work also, I believe, to write in both languages and to show both the languages on stage. So very well done. कब से लिख रहे हो?
ऐसा कुछ फिक्स नहीं है. मैं बाइक चलाते चलाते जो भी थॉट आता है तो लिख लेता हूँ.
मल्टी टैलेंटेड. बस तभी लिख लेते हो?
तभी मतलब सोचता हूँ, बाइक साइड में पार करके लिख के फिर से.
बेस्ट, वही करने का. Great. Who has been writing for like say 10 years? 10 years, more than 10 years. When did you start writing?
When I was in school,
Oh wow, which standard?
I think 6th or 7th.
Nice, love it. तो मतलब हार्ट ब्रेक ने नहीं इंस्पायर किया होगा, आई होप.
पहले इमेजिनेशन था, फिर इन रियल हो गया.
Great open mic, love it, absolutely love it. Anyone who started writing after COVID or during the pandemic? नहीं, ऐसा लग रहा है हाँ. चलेगा अगर हाँ. कोई बात नहीं. I think we've all started writing at different times, but by some weird luck in the universe, all of us are here together showing our work, and it's so important, it's so nice. And thank you so much, that was a wonderful start. Should we call the next performer?
Yeah.
I have been told that there is a fun element to the next performance. So, before we start, Kimberly, can I know something about you?
Yes.
Oh, when did you start writing?
After I moved here, So like, I was actually sitting out in the Ghats, and I was journaling, and I started writing poetry, and I just didn't know I could do it.
Oh,
And
wow.
So it just kind of unfolded from there. I'd love to be able to write in Hindi or Punjabi, but we'll get there. We'll get there.
We'll get there, we'll get there.
Punjabi will be my first one.
Love it. We hope you'll come here to perform.
If I don't get roasted up there.
So one rule of being here is that you cannot roast anyone, and not at a poetry open mic. That's not allowed. So,
This
I.
is the first time performing in front of
Oh wow.
I'm very
Nervous? It's okay.
yeah.
First times are always extremely special, and everyone is going to be extra supportive, right? Yes. Can we please start clapping for Kimberly?
Okay.
Hi. You can go ahead. So I write to music. So we're gonna see how this goes. So my name is Kimberly, obviously, and this is Natural Disaster. Okay. ये ऊपर थोड़ा है. Thank you. Lightning strikes beneath the moonlit sky. My safety is shaken. Violent vortices rip apart my heart. It is no longer beating. Blaze of fires fill the fields, burning away my memories. Winds blow sands across the vast desert lands. The fight is blinding. Earthquakes create a world divide. My foundation falls beneath me. Landslides take out the mountainsides. I am buried alive. Tsunamis flood the coastal shores, pulled into the undertow of the forlorn. Blizzards freeze to cease the soul, a hypothermic shell of existence I have become. And if by chance, should I survive, I beg you, please let the asteroids fly, suffocating volcanic plume-filled skies, left for all what's left to die. It would be welcoming. Yet, in the end, should sparks reignite, giving a chance for love to glow bright, even if just for one night, it was all meant to be.
That was beautiful. Thank you. Wow. Are you all spellbound? Yeah. Okay. One question I need to ask. Are you all anyone who's not comfortable if I talk to you directly? No one, no? Chalo, fir baat karte hain. When did you move here?
Well, I moved to Bombay 8 years ago, and I moved from Ahmedabad. I was there for 2 years. So I've
Oh,
been
wow.
here for about 10 years.
Wow, nice. Are you liking it? I'm guessing you are. Nice.
Yeah, I love it. I'm not going anywhere.
Great. Anyone who's not from Bombay? Wow, many people. Anyone who has come here today just to perform? Okay, we need this story. Where are you from? Indore, right?
मतलब
You've come-
बेसिकली टीकमगढ़ से हूँ
Okay.
पर इंदौर में परफॉर्म कर रहा हूँ काफ़ी टाइम से तो
And यहाँ आज सिर्फ perform करने आए हो? Wow. Round of applause. I thought traveling for I traveled for half an hour and I was like, काफ़ी दूर है. But कितना टाइम लगा?
बहुत ज़्यादा मीन्स तो मतलब सोचो इंदौर से डायरेक्ट मुंबई का टिकट नहीं मिलता पता आपको रिजर्वेशन नहीं बड़ी मुश्किल होता
ओह,
तो पुणे से फिर वो कैब आती है
हाँ.
तो उसमें जेट लैग हुआ मेरे को
तो पुणे में एक दिन रुक के वहाँ भी परफॉर्म किया ऐसा
4
कुछ?
दिन परफॉर्म किया वहाँ पे इसका वेट कर रहे थे कि आएगा नहीं आएगा तो फिर आई एम वेटिंग के आ जाए तो ठीक है नहीं तो घर चले जाए
I love this. You raised your hand as well. How much time it took you to reach?
Well, it should have taken 3 hours, but nowadays roads are really bad. So 5 hours quite so.
Can we just take a moment to talk about the bad roads? Is there anyone who is not tired of it? Anyone? No, right? Yeah, great. Very luckily, I travel to office via metro. But the one day, any day that I decide, चलो road से जाती हूँ. क्यों किया मैंने ये गलती? It is horrible. The traffic, the construction, everything, it can take you double the time, literally. But कोई नहीं, it's fine. You have traveled from far to come here, or
We came from Virar.
that's faster. That's you'll have company also now. Return में. Great. Fast पकड़ोगे return में कि नहीं?
बैंड्रा पास
Damn. All the best. All the best. You know, before I call on the next performer, I thought I'll do like a tiny story. Works? I want to talk about my first ever time on stage because I don't know, right now it just reminded me of that. So I was in school and I had this urge to perform. I had this urge, yeah, I want to be on stage. So I tried for every elocution competition that my school had from 5th to 9th standard, but I never got selected. I don't know why. I console myself now by saying, हाँ ठीक है, मतलब maybe they didn't want me or maybe I had to read someone else's poem, that's why I didn't get selected. I'm a writer, I have to perform my own stuff, right? But those are probably excuses. But in 10th standard, my school introduced this thing called an extempore competition. I was like, okay, this is new. I don't know what it is, but my teachers told me, you have to pick a shit at the moment, you will know your topic, and you perform. Let's try. By some weird miracle, I made it past the elimination round, and I was going to be one of 3 girls from my class who was going to perform. And at that point, I had my first taste of nervousness, of stage fear. Anyone experiences stage fear? All of us, right? That was my first ever moment of stage fear. And I told my teacher, I was like, ma'am, I can't do this. I wanted to back out before I had even reached that day. And she told me, no, you just try it, it's fine. That day came, and they had given us the topics one day before. So I had prepared something. They gave us like 16 topics for 12 people, and I prepared out of like 8 or 7, 8 I prepared. The next day, we went and picked chits. And my topic was Rickshawala. I had no idea what I was going to say. I was like, इसमें तो prepare भी नहीं किया था. What am I supposed to say on Rickshawala? I told myself, okay, I'm a writer. I can write about anything. I'll write. So I wrote something. And then I went up and I performed. I was incredibly nervous to the point like my hands were behind my back. I was like, ugh. I had my chit right like in my pocket. But I performed. I spoke about rickshawala. I spoke about how they decorated their rickshaws. I spoke about how that one rickshawala came back with my water bottle because I had left it in the rickshaw. And how there are some who even return money. And by some weird stroke of luck, I came second. And that, trust me, that's not the highlight of this story. The highlight is that going up on stage and trying requires a lot of courage. It requires a lot. And to just try, that is the most important part. I could have not won anything, but that this story would have still mattered so much just because I tried. So yeah, that's all I really wanted to say. Just keep trying. That's the main thing. Hi, you guys just entered.
Hello,
What's your name?
Ankit.
Are you performing? Nice. Is this your first time?
I came here exactly 1 year ago for the first time.
Oh wow. Oh, so it's your 1 year anniversary. Love it.
I
Love
texted
it.
Habitat page on the message on Instagram yesterday that hey, I'm completing 1 year. Can I get a slot? But somehow I'd already got it.
Oh wow. That's adorable. I love it. I think days like these are very, very important. I personally, I think I celebrate my stage birthday way more than I celebrate my actual birthday. Like I'm way more excited for my stage birthday. So I'm really happy that you're celebrating it here with us. But right now you're not right now. We'll call you in a while, folks. Shall we call the next performer? I hope I say your name right, but it's a beautiful name. So yeah, can we please start clapping for Syahi?
हेलो एवरीवन, मेरा नाम स्याही है और पता है शायरों का एक वो है नारा, मोहब्बत जिंदाबाद। तो मैं चाहती हूँ सब लोग एक बार जोर से करें, मोहब्बत जिंदाबाद, मोहब्बत जिंदाबाद। तो एक पता है एक पॉइंट आता है लाइफ में, मैंने लास्ट ओपन माइक में सुना था ये कि हम ना जब गिरते हैं फिर कैसे कैसे हिम्मत जुटा के ना खड़े होते हैं, और फिर जब खड़े हो जाते हैं फिर कोई आ जाता है धक्का देने के लिए। तो पता है इन इंग्लिश भी से कम अगेन एंड डिस्ट्रॉय मी, बट इन पोइट्री वी रिसाइट, तड़प रहा हूँ मैं कब से, ज़रा आओ और मुझे संभालो। तड़प रहा हूँ मैं कब से, ज़रा आओ और मुझे संभालो, फिर झूठी सही मोहब्बत करो, फिर से खुशियों में मेरी नज़र लगा लो। बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया। अच्छा पता है ये आजकल की जनरेशन की प्रॉब्लम है, सॉरी बोलने पे ना ईगो पे आ जाता है, मैं क्यों बोलूँ, मैं क्यों बोलूँ। बट हमारे जो कृष्ण और राधा थे ना, तो एक बार ना मतलब मैंने कॉन्सेप्ट लिखा है, तो एक बार ना राधा रानी ना बहुत क्रोधित हो गई थी, क्या हूँ मैं तुम्हारे लिए, चलो बताओ, कन्फेस योर लव। तो श्री कृष्ण बड़े प्रेम से उत्तर देते हैं, हृदय का टुकड़ा प्राण हो तुम, आन बान शान हो तुम, दुनिया के परे हो, मेरा आत्म सम्मान हो तुम, प्रेम का अर्थ हो, जीने का कारण हो, मेरे लिए मेरा सारा संसार हो तुम। अब इसमें ना कुछ वर्ड्स आएंगे, जैसे गरीर होता है द पावर ऑफ हीलिंग, गरीर होता है पावर ऑफ हीलिंग, और परीर होता है फेल का पेड़ का फल सॉरी, करीर होता है आंखों की ठंडक, और तरीर होता है अच्छाई। तो मैं शुरू से शुरू करती हूँ कि हृदय का टुकड़ा प्राण हो तुम, आन बान शान हो तुम, दुनिया के परे हो, मेरा आत्म सम्मान हो तुम, प्रेम का अर्थ हो, जीने का कारण हो, मेरे लिए मेरा सारा संसार हो तुम, बसी हो मुझ में ऐसे जैसे प्राण हो शरीर में, मुझे लगे जो घाव तो हो घाव के गरीर में, है प्रेम बीज कृष्ण तो राधा भी कुछ कम नहीं, राधा बसी है पेड़ के एक एक परीर में, तरीर हो तुम मिला तुम मेरा मुझको मिलता आराम जैसे, तुम बसी हो हर वस्तु हर मनुष्य के तरीर में, घबराना मत तुम मैं प्रिय, माना मैंने दुख दिए, अनेकों अनर्थ किए, पर तेरे बिन कैसे जिए, सब सिए जो एक एक घाव हमने झेले हैं, याद करो कान्हा संग जो रास तुमने खेले हैं, मान जाओ जान मेरी ऐसे हट भी ना करो, ना देखो कान्हा संग ये सुबह हो शाम भी अकेले हैं। राधे राधे। तो अब ये शायरों की महफिल है, यहाँ हार्ट ब्रेक की बातें हो ना ऐसा इम्पॉसिबल है, एकदम इम्पॉसिबल है। तो लिखा है कुछ इस तरह कि ये दूरी ये हिज्र इन्हें सवाल बना लिया हमने, हिज्र मतलब वही होता है बिछड़ना, ये दूरी ये हिज्र इन्हें सवाल बना लिया हमने, मरा हुआ आशिक फिर जगा लिया हमने, कल को मोहब्बत से फिर किसी का दिल ही ना दुखे, लिखकर अपनी मोहब्बत ज़माना बचा लिया हमने। अब अगर कोई पूछे कि तुम शायर क्यों बने, तो ये जवाब दे सकते हो। अब इसके आगे ये है कि वो कहता था वो इश्क में गहराइयाँ नापता नहीं, वो कहता था वो इश्क में गहराइयाँ नापता नहीं, फिर अलविदा कहते वक्त उसी का हाथ कांपता नहीं। वो कहता था वो इश्क में गहराइयाँ नापता नहीं, फिर अलविदा कहते वक्त उसी का हाथ कांपता नहीं। वो नादान है कुछ भी कहता है, ये कह के खुद को मना लिया मैंने, फिर नहीं पड़ी किसी अपने की ज़रूरत, अपना जनाजा खुद सजा लिया। बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया।
बहुत ही खूब, कैसा लग रहा है?
बहुत अच्छा।
चलो, amazing. I loved it. It was so beautiful. And coincidentally, I took my mom to ISKCON yesterday, and it was such a special feeling. Like, I was like, chalo, I will take you. And, you know, metro mein jayenge saath mein. I know kaise jate hai. And just looking at her in that moment, it felt so nice. I think she might be watching the live stream right now. So I'm sure she must have loved your poem if she's watching. I think she is. Hi, Mom. That was beautiful. Well done. How long have you been performing for?
This is my second time.
Amazing. Please keep performing. Incredible. Do you guys want to play a small game? Yeah? Why not? Yeah. So let's go around the room. I have one question, and all of you have to answer the same question. But I think the beauty of human beings is that we are all so different from each other that everyone will have a different answer. And if your answer is the same with anyone, that's not a problem, so don't worry. I just want to know what gives you hope on days you don't feel any hope. That one thing that still gives you some hope. Can we start with you?
Sunrise.
Oh, sunrise. Love that. What?
Water. Going to the good water.
Oh wow, love that. I think we should go to one now after the open mic. Let's do that. Oh, let's do that. I'm joining you all. Great. What about you?
songs.
Which is your favorite?
आज चल के तुझे लेके चल.
Are you gonna sing it now?
My voice is so bad.
So what? It's okay. Gana hai.
इधर से ही.
Everyone can join you. Do you all know the song?
आज चल के तुझे मैं लेके चलूं एक ऐसे गगन के तले जहाँ गम भी ना हो आंसू भी ना हो बस प्यार ही प्यार.
क्या बात है. Loved it. I think we can now call this a music open mic as well. What about you, sir? Sunrise. Love it.
होप जो मुझे देता है कि मेरे डैड की बात है
जी.
जिन्होंने बोला था कि 4 दिन तक सूखी रोटी खा के जिया.
क्या बात है.
आज 4000 का खाना भी बहुत कम लगता है मुझे. उन्होंने वैसा पाला है मुझे, तो ये हर दिन का एक होप है कि जब उन्होंने वैसे ज़िंदगी जी है तो मुझे तो राजा बनाया, फिर तो क्यों ना जिए.
क्या बात है. Love this.
Same, Papa.
Same. Hey, dads are very sweet. They're very, very strict, but very sweet. I once roasted my dad when I was on stage, and I was incredibly scared, but he did laugh. I'll tell you all that story after some time. Hi. So you must have loved the poem.
Yes.
What about you?
My writing.
Nice. Great. And I'm sure your writing and everyone's writings will someday give hope to other people as well.
For me, it's human.
Oh, love it. Nikita?
It's different every time, but currently I think going through my old diaries and reading what I was years ago versus what is my growth to today, that is giving me a lot of hope. So currently that's the one.
Years to growth. डैड बोल दिया, मॉम बोल दिया. लव इट. बहुत पारिवारिक माहौल. ग्रेट.
चीजें ठीक हो ही जाती हैं मुझे लगता है. फेथ है वो.
नहीं. लव इट. व्हाट अबाउट यू? Nice. Love it. Great. Thank you. And I think all of us might be, I hope all of us are feeling a little more hopeful now. Should I now call the next performer, or should I tell you all about the time I roasted my dad on stage? Is there someone? Hi. Hello. You can sit ahead if you want. There's some space. Any of you performing? Okay. What's your name? Okay, nice. We were just doing a small little game right now. I was asking everyone in the room, what is that one thing which gives you hope? So I'm going to take the question to all of you as well. You can start. You can take your time to think. I'll come back later if you want. That works? Great. Should I call the next performer? Yes. Great. We'll have the next performer and then I'll tell you all how I roasted my dad. Yes. Works? I hope he's not watching the live stream. Can we start clapping for the next performer? Can we please have Subhash?
हेलो हाय 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 गुड आफ्टरनून एवरीवन। ओके, मेरा नाम सुभाष है और मैं इंदौर से आ रहा हूँ, ठीक है। तो मैं ऐसे चुटकी मत बजाना मेरे टाइम पे, वाह वाह कर देना, ठीक है। क्योंकि मैं जहाँ जाता हूँ मैं बड़े बड़े मुशायरे देखता हूँ तो मेरे को आदत वैसी है। मैं इतने लोग देखता हूँ, मैंने अच्छा चाय पीने आए हैं, ठीक है। बेसिकली आई एम स्टैंड अप कॉमेडियन, बट मेरे दोस्त की एक डायरी छूट गई थी मेरे घर पे और मैंने देखा कुछ लोग ऐसे होते हैं ना कि जो आपके शब्दों को रूप दे देते हैं। तो दर्पण भाई उनका नाम है, उनकी डायरी में से कुछ पढ़ रहा हूँ, ठीक है। बाकी सब लोग प्रेम करते हैं, बहुत बढ़िया प्रेम करते हैं, पर बेरोजगारी में जो प्रेम होता है, क्योंकि उससे बढ़िया कुछ नहीं होता है। उसमें आप सोचो ना कि आपको टाइम ही टाइम है देने के लिए, है ना। तो उसके ऊपर कुछ बात है, एकदम जो भी आपको बढ़िया सा लगे तो वाह वाह कर देना, ठीक है। ठीक है, पक्का, ओके। अरे थैंक यू। ठीक है, बेरोजगारी की बात हो रही है कि मुझ पागल का साथ निभाने वाली है, मुझ पागल का साथ निभाने वाली है, वो लड़की मुश्किल में आने वाली है। मुझसे लड़कर अब वो गुस्से गुस्से में ना जाने कैसी चाय बनाने वाली है। क्या होता है ना, प्यार होता है ना जहाँ पे, फिर गुस्से में बना देती हूँ चाय, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है। फिर उसके बाद के जो भाई उनने अपना नाम लिखा था कि दर्पण फुर्सत से बैठा है टेरेस पर, दर्पण फुर्सत से बैठा है टेरेस पर, वैसे तो यह उम्र कमाने वाली है। वाह, ये थोड़ा थोड़ा जोर से वाह करोगे तो ज़्यादा अच्छा लगेगा मेरे को। वाह, बढ़िया एकदम। फिर एक होता है कि प्यार में पागलपन, पागलपन जो होता है उसके ऊपर है कि साहिल से तो हर दरिया का पानी गहरा दिखता है। साहिल मतलब होता है किनारा, वहाँ से एकदम वैसा है कि अंदर जाकर देखो भाई बाहर से क्या दिखता है। आंखों पर पट्टी बांधी है, वो भी ऐसी बांधी है, सबको लगता है अंधा हूँ जबकि पूरा दिखता है। वाह, थोड़ा क्लैप कर दी प्लीज, बिल्कुल एकदम, हाँ, है ना। फिर उसकी बात होती है कि जिस लड़की से आप प्यार करते हो वो आपको तो थोड़ी बुद्धू से समझती है कि प्यार में हो पर बुद्धू होना थोड़ा सा उन्हें, ठीक है। तो उसके ऊपर है कि उस लड़की से मैंने पूछा बता बता कैसा दिखता हूँ, उस लड़की से मैंने पूछा बता बता कैसा दिखता हूँ, 100 नुक्स निकाले फिर बोली है अच्छा दिखता हूँ। मुझको अपने पास बिठाकर मेरी मुश्किल समझो यार। मेरा जो नाम है वो इंस्टा पे सुब्बू यार इसलिए क्योंकि इस बात को लेके आए कि मुझको अपने पास बिठाकर मेरी मुश्किल समझो यार, दूर खड़े होकर मत बोलो पागल लड़का दिखता है। हाँ, मतलब वो हंसी मजाक में करते हैं। फिर उसके बाद है कभी याद आ जाती तो उसके ऊपर है कि कभी कभी गार्डन के दरवाजे पे याद आती है वो, कभी कभी गार्डन के दरवाजे पे याद आती है वो, और फिर सारे फूलों में ही उसका चेहरा दिखता है।
क्या बात है, बहुत अच्छा,
बिल्कुल एकदम। और फिर एक ऐसा होता है ना कि जब आप कुछ चीज़ होती है, जैसे कुर्ता मैंने पहना तो जो उसको पसंद है वो कुर्ता उसके लिए पहना, अब वो चाहे जैसा लगे मेरे को नहीं पता, उसको पसंद है इसलिए पहन लिया भाई,
बिल्कुल सही
है। तो उसके ऊपर है कि पहले पहले दिल लगता था, पहले पहले दिल लगता था, अब तो सिर्फ दिमाग लगे। क्या मतलब ऐसे रिश्ते पर फूल खिले या दाग लगे। मुमकिन है तुमको पहले से ज़्यादा उलझा दे, मुमकिन है तुमको पहले से और ज़्यादा उलझा दे, जो दिखने में इस गुत्थी का सबसे ज़्यादा ज़रूरी सुराग लगे। एक होता कि जो चीज़ सही दिख रही है वो जरूरी नहीं है सही हो, ठीक है। कि मुझसे पहले इसके होंठों को गीला कर दे साकी, मुझसे उम्दा प्यासा तो ये मैं का खुश्क अयान लगे, नज़र पड़ जाए उसकी जिसकी खातिर मैंने पहना है। कि नज़र पड़ जाए उसकी जिसकी खातिर मैंने पहना है, फिर चाहे इस कुर्ते में आग लगे या दाग लगे। फिर ऐसा होता है कि आज की छूट जाती है, सब एक वक्त आता है आज की छूट जाती है। उसके ऊपर है कि एक दुनिया में पूरी दुनिया की आबादी होती है, एक दुनिया में पूरी दुनिया की आबादी होती है, एक दुनिया में हम होते हैं एक शहजादी होती है, और उनको दूर दूर किया जाता है जो बरसों के साथी हैं, और उनको दूर किया जाता है जो बरसों के साथी हैं, और अनजाने लोगों में शादी हो जाती है। मैं आखिरी लाइन बोलूँगा, बस खत्म है मेरा, ठीक है, आप सबके लिए, क्योंकि बहुत, हाँ बस इट्स एंड, बस 2 लाइन होगी कि आखिरी, कि दिले नादा की जिद है कि तेरा साथ रहे। आप सबको लेके बोल रहा हूँ, दिले नादा की जिद है कि तेरा साथ रहे, पर मर्जी वक्त कहता है कि बिछड़ना होगा। थैंक यू।
क्या बात है, आई थिंक तालियों ने आपको बता दिया सबको कितना मज़ा आया। तालियों की गूंज हो गई। बहुत बहुत बार ऐसा होता है कि लोग आते हैं और कुछ परफॉर्म करते हैं जो उन्होंने नहीं लिखा है, और लेकिन वो ये बात बताते नहीं है, ऐसे प्रिटेंड करते हैं हाँ ये मेरा ही है। तो आई एम रियली हैप्पी दैट यू डिडंट डू दैट एंड यू आर लाइक हाँ ये मेरे दोस्त का है, विच वॉज ग्रेट, विच इज़ एक्चुअली तो बेयर मिनिमम है, but it's still very important, and it's very sad that people actually just pretend yeah this so I've written. There are many people who do that. Trust me, it's very sad, but thank you for not doing that. Thank you for also supporting your friend. I think दोस्तों को और every artist को support करना बहुत important है।
उसका बहुत मन है आने का, पर वो बहुत ज़्यादा दूर रहता है।
वो कहाँ रहता है?
वो मन से और बहुत ज़्यादा दूर पड़ा,
कोई बात नहीं,
उनका मन है आने का।
एक दिन।
हाँ, मैंने बोला मैं आपको रिसाइट करके दूँगा।
So sweet, so sweet. Very sweet, thank you. Can I come back to you all with my question? What is the one thing that gives you hope?
Living life.
Wow. Love it.
The hope to live life, to see sunrises, sunsets, go love people, make friendships, that. Living life.
Nice, love it. What about you?
For me, it's like life itself, because we have सांस ले रहे हैं, like तो वो सांस ही
Poetry open mic में आके. Love it. Perfect.
For me, it is trusting beyond you, which gives me hope. Which is, you can call it universe, you can call it God. Trusting beyond a higher self or higher divinity, that's hope.
Love it. What about you?
Hope for me is 3 words: जुनून, सुकून and सुरूर.
क्या बात है, क्या बात है. Wow, we've ended the round with perfect answer. Love it. All answers were perfect. I think I loved it. Thank you to everyone who answered that. So now, coming to my dad and how I roasted him when I was on stage while he was in the audience, by the way. I should have mentioned that. So you, आपने वक्त के बारे में बात किया कि वक्त ख़त्म हो रहा है. तो I used to experience this a lot when I was like, I want to perform so many poems, but 4 minutes, or for some open mics, the time limit was 5 minutes. And I was like, no, I want to perform one every time. I've respected the time. ठीक है, this much time, okay, I'll perform for this much time, but I want to perform more. So I decided, and someone asked me, why aren't you doing your solo show? It's like, हैं, मैं करूँ? ठीक है, करती हूँ. And a major part of that reason was like, I want to have more stage time. I want to perform a lot more. So in fact, 1 year ago today was when I had booked the venue and I had finalized, like I had gotten in touch with someone and we did it together. And it was on this day that we paid the money to the venue and we are like, okay, this show is actually happening 1 month from now. And like, yeah, today was the day we actually fixed it, and it took a lot to reach that point because so many moments where we called venues and they said yeah, and it was something or the other kept happening. But I was just thinking about that today morning itself, that okay, wow, it's been 1 year to that day and it's going to be almost a year to my first ever show. And it was my first ever show where I roasted my dad. So that show was called the Poetic Perspective Show because my Instagram handle and something that I call my artist name or my artist identity is Poetic Perspective, because I have been writing since I was 9 years old. So I'm like, I think everyone has a perspective in life, and I feel because I've been writing poems for that long, my perspective is poetic in nature. Poetic perspective, very simple. So I called the show as well the Poetic Perspective Show. And in that I was talking about this one time in school where my friend group, or who I thought was my friend group, had a WhatsApp chat without me. Had a WhatsApp group where they would talk bad about me. I think it's sad, but many people have experienced that. And they were annoyed that I would say, and I had gotten WhatsApp just 2 months before that. So I would excitedly send messages, I would send forwards, and they were very annoyed with that. So when I was in 9th standard, I had basically become a WhatsApp uncle. So in the show, I talk about this. And to introduce the concept, I ask people, do you know what's a WhatsApp uncle? Let me give you the example of my dad. Because my dad is a WhatsApp uncle. And I'm telling how he sends good morning images every morning. How this one time when he was sick and he didn't use his phone that much and he didn't send messages. One of his juniors from office actually called up home and asked, Sir, bimar hai kya? Like, is he not well? He hasn't sent anything on WhatsApp. It's like, okay, yeah, my dad is the definition of WhatsApp uncle. And my dad was not planning to come for the show because he was like, I'm not really interested in all this poetry and art. I think most parents are still coming to terms with this, that what are you all doing? Kya karte ho jaake? Are you getting paid for it? I am paying for it. But that's a different story. So he was not planning to come for the show until on day when we finally again spoke and he's like, do you want me to come? I'm like, yes, obviously I want you there. It's a big moment for me, even if like, just come. Okay, I'll come. Great. I have forgotten that this part is there in the show. Like, I know this part is there, but I haven't connected the two bits. So I am performing, and then I start the bit about WhatsApp uncle, and my dad is sitting on this side, okay? And I'm just like, oh shit. I start looking here and performing. I'm like, so, this is what happened. And I'm just trying to look at my dad and not looking. And my dad is extremely strict. Like, he's great. I love him, but he is very strict. So I'm also really scared. And he's laughing. And I've said this on stage. I'm like, guys, if I don't get entry in home after this incident, one of you has to do jugaad for me. And after the show got over, my dad is like nicely smiling and laughing and taking pictures also with me. And I'm like, okay, this is weird. But yeah, I think dads are a little more chill than we give them credit for. But don't roast your dad when he's in the audience. Don't. I hope he's not watching the live stream. Mom, if you're watching this, don't tell him I said this, please. मुझे आज घर में entry चाहिए. But yeah, that was the time I roasted my dad on stage. Shall we call the next performer?
Yeah.
This clipboard makes me feel like I'm a teacher. Feels great. Can we please start clapping? Yeah. Can we please have Jericho?
Am I audible? पहली बार लिख रहा हूँ, ठीक है? और पहली बार सॉरी लिखा बहुत पहले से जा रहा है, पर परफॉर्म पहली बार कर रहा हूँ, सो सपोर्ट करना, ठीक है? तो जैसे भाई ने स्टार्ट किया था बेवफा पे, वहीं से मैं भी वापस शुरू करूँगा, ठीक है? तो लिखा है कि तेरा मिलना भी लाजमी था, तुझसे दोस्ती करना भी जायज़ था, जब तेरा साथ रहना भी मुझे गवारा था, तो तेरे पास आने में भी राज़ी था, पर आज नफ़रत है मुझे मेरे उन फैसलों पे जिसने इस दोस्ती की अर्ज़ी को फरमाया था, पर आज नफ़रत है मुझे मेरे उन फैसलों पे जिसने इस दोस्ती की अर्ज़ी को फरमाया था। निभानी थी तो हीर रांझे वाली दोस्ती, पर क्या करता मैंने एक फ़र्ज़ी को अपना दोस्त बनाया था, पर क्या करता मैंने एक फ़र्ज़ी को अपना दोस्त बनाया था। फिर मैं उसे बोलता हूँ कि तेरी हर छोटी बड़ी परेशानियों में मैं हमेशा तेरे साथ था, थोड़ा सा डार्क है, तेरी हर छोटी बड़ी परेशानियों में हमेशा तेरे साथ था, और तेरी हर पूरी की हुई ख्वाहिशों के पीछे मेरा हाथ था। और ज़रा ये बता आज तेरे हाथ कांप रहे हैं और तेरी आंखें मुझे सताती क्यों नहीं। जानता हूँ बेवफा आज किसी और के बाहों में होकर आई है, मुझे बताती क्यों नहीं।
बहुत अच्छे।
क्या बात है।
दिल तो तुझसे मैंने लगाया था, तुमने तो बस एक खेल खेला है। अय्याशियाँ तो तुमने की है, मैंने तो तुम पे आने वाला हर दुख झेला है। ज़रा सुन तेरे मतलब से जुड़े मुझसे तेरे हर काम करवा लिया ना। क्यों आज प्यार की खूबसूरती को भूल रकीब से तूने अपने कपड़े उतरवा लिया ना।
वाह बहुत अच्छे।
फिर मुझे नाज है तुम्हारे लहजे पे कि कितनी खूबसूरती से झूठ बोलती थी तुम। मैं तुम्हारी हर बात मान लेता था जानते हुए तुम्हारे सारे जुर्म। तुम्हें तो मेरा कांपता हुआ हाथ और आंखों से बहता हुआ आंसू भी नहीं दिखा। तुम्हें तो मेरा कांपता हुआ हाथ और आंखों से बहता हुआ आंसू भी नहीं दिखा। क्या पैसों और झूठ का पर्दा इतना भारी था कि तुम्हें नोचने वाला दरिंदा भी तुम्हें सही दिखा। कि फिर ऐसा हो जाता है कि अब कितना कितना किसी के लिए ये करना। चलो आगे बढ़ जाते हैं। तो उसके लिए कुछ लिखा है कि बस हो गए इतने गम, अब मुझे इन सबको समेटना भी है। अब मुझे इन झूठी महफिलों से उठकर कहीं दूर बैठना भी है। बरसों बाद ऐसा लगा कि झूठी तसल्लियों का कोई रहा नहीं है छत। बरसों बाद ऐसा लगा कि झूठी तसल्लियों का कोई रहा नहीं है छत। मुझे माफ़ करना है बेवफा, अब चाहे जो हो जाए वापस कभी आना मत, वापस कभी आना मत। फिर मुझे पता है मैं सक्सेसफुल होने वाला हूँ लाइफ में, ठीक है। तो उसके लिए मैंने कुछ लिखा है बाद में कि मेरा जहन तेरे बारे में सोचे, ऐसी अब मेरे में कोई ताकत नहीं है। मेरा जहन तेरे बारे में सोचे, ऐसी अब मेरे में कोई ताकत नहीं है। सुन, अगर सामने से भी गुजरे तो अपना मुंह मत दिखाना, क्योंकि अब तेरी कोई औकात नहीं है। आखिरी है कि और सुन कि अगर अब किसी दिन मेरी याद आए तो तुझे भी आसमान में तारे देख रोना पड़ेगा। कि सुन, अगर अब किसी दिन तुझे मेरी याद आए तो तुझे भी आसमान में तारे देख रोना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि अब बहुत आगे बढ़ चुका हूँ मैं। अगर मिलना हो मुझसे तो तुम्हें भी कतार में खड़ा होना पड़ेगा। अगर मिलना हो मुझसे तो तुम्हें भी कतार में खड़ा होना पड़ेगा। थैंक यू सो मच।
अमेजिंग, थैंक यू। मज़ा आ रहा है? कितना मज़ा आ रहा है? Great. So, there's one poem I personally want to try out. Is that okay? Yeah. I wrote this a very long time ago, and it's about how I fear writing. So, I'll start. I fear writing. I fear writing because I fear I am not good enough. I am not capable enough to be a writer, to write good. I fear that my poem shall do injustice to my thoughts, your thoughts, my feelings, your feelings. I fear I won't be able to express. I spent 20 odd years not expressing pain, not expressing discomfort, not expressing joy. I kept my feelings wrapped away in a notebook, locked with metaphors hidden inside rhymes. I wrote poem after poem, for I love writing, but I love writing, but I fear writing. I fear not being good enough. I fear no one liking or resonating with my words. I fear a silent, distracted room when I perform, perhaps devoid of snaps or claps. I fear that no one really likes my poems. They just pretend and laugh behind my back. What I fear about writing is being known. I am a poet in the 21st century, a poet open with her work. I post on social media, I perform on stage, my words once mine are now yours. My words, my feelings are now yours. What I fear about writing is being read, being heard but not listened. What I fear about writing is not being understood, my feelings being invalidated or termed incorrect, my pain not being respected, my joy being discarded. I am a poet in the 21st century, a poet open with her work. I chose this, yet it fears me. I fear that someday I shall fall out of love, not of writing, but of being open with my art. I know I shall always be in love with writing. In my work, I am open about that too, but I just fear being humiliated. I'm not sure where these fears arise from, but I've been writing since I was 9, and perhaps that turned me into an overthinker. I told my mom that us writers don't feel bored traveling solo because we have imagination. Yeah. What I didn't tell her was that we aren't sure when to stop imagining, when to stop writing a poem, when to stop being open with our art, when to stop talking to ourselves through poems. Fear is just another name for love. I fear writing. Thank you. I think this is the first time I have performed this particular poem because, like I said, that fear of being listened but not understood and all of that. So I never ended up performing this poem, but thank you for listening to it. Felt really nice. So next up, we have someone who I am lucky to call a friend. And this is the first time I'm introducing a friend on stage. And I've always heard most of my, like, I've seen my friends host and I've seen them be like, oh, my friend is performing. I'm so happy I can call them on stage. And I'm like, okay, must be some feeling. I don't know what it is. But now I've realized that, okay, this feeling actually is something else because you don't just get to tell the name of the person who's coming next, you get to tell a little more. So I'm lucky that I get to do that right now. I wish I could have done that for everyone, but next open mic, y'all are performing and I'm hosting, I'm going to do that for everyone. For now, I have known the next performer for like, I think more than a year, easily 2 years. 2 years. She is incredible. She is a force of art. She is vulnerable. She's strong. I have seen her at Spill Poetry Summer Slam Finals. I have seen her at India Film Project, where she actually won. She won the competition, and rightfully so, and no one was surprised because she was simply that brilliant. And she always tries. That's what I love most, is that she's never going to be like, oh, okay, yeah, theek hai. She will put that amount of effort into her work. She will rework it, she will edit it, and she will practice her performances. And she will travel all the way from Nasik just to perform. So can we please start clapping for Nikita?
Hi everyone. Now I'm feeling a little nervous. Kajal is very, very, very sweet. She's one of my first friends I made here in Bombay when I came here. I had moved here for a while, for 3-4 months, and she was one of my first friends. The sweetest person, the sweetest artist you will come across, the biggest support system you would have in a poetry circle. So guys, I'm telling you, be friends with her. So my poem is really short today, but I'm going to use my time to just randomly chatter about something. I started performing, I think, in 2021, almost 2 years, November 2021. And it was with no intention. It was simply because for love for my words and love to share with people, probably see some smiles, maybe inspire. Whatever happens, happens. But I just love writing and I want to perform. And I came here, I performed here for the first time. This is where I performed for the first time. And I was just doing it. It was going nice. I had no goals. I had no checklist. I'm just doing it for myself. And slowly I started doing featured shows. I started doing lineups, my own show. Then I won an award, like she said, which was in this October. And that's when I started thinking, oh shit, I mean, now I have to grow. Now I have to be better. I need to have a checklist. I need to grow from here. I need to achieve something better from here. And turns out, after the award, as happy as I was, I did have some setbacks as an artist. And I just lost all the courage. I felt like I doubted myself. I felt like I don't have the ability. I am not great as I think I am. I'm not as good. I don't know what to write. I don't know if my words matter anymore, and I should just stop performing. And I think it's been 4 months since I performed. I mean, I was auditioning, I was going for competitions, but just not making it, or I wasn't even feeling myself. But I did it. Now, finally, after 4 months, today, here I am standing again at the first stage I performed at. With courage, with finding my courage again. Today, I'm just performing for myself, performing one of my oldest poems, translating it into Hindi. I'm not very comfortable performing in Hindi on stage, but I'm going to try doing that. So, yeah, I hope I can do the best for myself today. सवाल उससे पूछ रहा वो, क्या चाहती है तू जिंदगी से अपनी? जा खुद को ढूंढ ले तू कौन है पहचान जरा. वो चल पड़ी है राह पर खुद की ही तलाश में, कुदरत के साथ चल रही नादान ये न जानती, वो खुद भी तो कुदरत है एक. हर सुबह उगता सूरज है, वो है उसका ही प्रकाश जो खुद में रोशनी भरे. पंछी है वो, सीमा है आसमां जिसकी, पंख फैला उड़ चली, ले चली दुनिया को समेट रही अपने अंदर ही. एक बूंद की तरह उस बंजर सी जमीन पर, उस हवा की तरह खोई नाव को ले चली अपने मंजिल पर. कोरे कागज पर जैसे बोल हो, स्वरों में जैसे राग कोई, ताल जो गुनगुना रही हर गीत तो वही खुद है। जाने कितने तूफान आए, जरा सी वो कपकपा गई, पर है वो एक पेड़ की तरह डटकर खड़ी है आज भी। फूलों सी कोमल है वो, पहाड़ों सा प्रभाव उसका। Okay, I just got blank. Sorry, I'm gonna read it. Yeah, it's okay. It's fine. पानी सी है सौम्य, क्रूर है आग सी समुंदर, वो प्यार का जला दे जो तू आंख उठा। जाने कितने तूफान आए, जरा सी कपकपा गई, पर है वो पेड़ की तरह डटकर खड़ी है आज भी। फूलों सी है कोमल, पहाड़ों सा प्रभाव उसका, रंगीन जैसे इंद्रधनुष, हवाओं सी निर्मल है वो। बदलते बादलों के पार नीला रहे वो आसमां, वक्त चाहे परख ले कितना, रंग ना बदले वो अपना। शामियाना हो जैसे तारों का, जब अंधेरा हो छा रहा, भीतर है रोशनी उसके जो दुनिया के अंधेरे हरा रही। कुदरत उसके अंदर बसी, इंतजार कर रही उसके ढूंढने का, इंतजार कर रही उसे अपना नाम देने का। अपनी कहानी के शब्द तो वो खुद ही है, नादान ये न जानती, कुदरत तो वो खुद ही है, कुदरत तो वो खुद ही है। Thank you.
Thank you, that was beautiful. It felt so nice to see you perform after so long. Thank you for performing, and I hope you can always return to the stage. And, you know, I've been performing for like 3 years now, and there have been so many times when I've been away from the stage for a very long time. And then I feel this guilt when I'm returning because I'm like, oh, like, am I just returning at my own convenience? But if there's one thing I've learned, it's that the stage is always waiting and the stage is going to accept you no matter how, no matter what. You come with your flaws, you be a little selfish, the stage is going to be fine with that. It is simply always waiting and it is always going to be there. So, yeah. On that note, I kind of feel like performing a poem about performers. Do you want to hear something about yourself? Not yourself, but about performers in general. Yeah? Yeah. Okay. Are you all enjoying? Yes. Pakka? Woo! Thanks, Ash. Love it. Cool. So, this is a poem I wrote about performers itself. Doesn't have a title because, as you all know, writers are very bad with titling their own poems. We are terrible at it. So, if anyone has a suggestion for a title for this, please tell me. I am open to any and all suggestions. When a performer performs, be it poetry or acting, they shed their skin. Stand naked and vulnerable, step into the words and perform. They perform their soul. A poet or an actor, an artist is themselves when they perform. Their body and soul and mind are one. One and only. They are honest and raw, pure and broken, insecure and confident. They are a million pieces and one soul. When a performer performs, they are at home. They find home in the streets, in front of shops which are shutting down, on stage, on fancy, famous stages, in homes, in libraries, sitting on the floor, maybe even on the toilet, loudly, silently in their mind as they pretend to be outside. Performers have that touch of insanity, the crack filled with gold. Performers are gold and bold. They are bold and meek. They are fluid. They mold into the shape of what they perform. Performers are born and performers are made. Performers create their own reality. They write their own fate. When a performer performs, they meet themselves. If you know a performer and you've never watched them perform, you don't know them. If you know me and you've never watched me perform, you don't know me. Thank you. There are like a couple of things that personally I always say, and that one is that I am most myself when I'm on stage. Like Kajal is Kajal when she is performing, and you know there are moments like these, like when I'm sitting in an open mic where I just feel this immense amount of gratitude for just getting to perform, for just being filled with, getting to be surrounded by art and artists. I my last week was absolutely terrible. I think I had like 3 breakdowns in like 2-3 days. And it was a very, very bad week. Yesterday, like I mentioned, I took my mom to ISKCON. And after that, I went to watch a play that my friend had directed. And that was also about being an artist. And I met a couple of artist friends there. And it was a moment like that yesterday, just being surrounded by art and realizing that there is so much more to life. There is so much hope in this world. You know, I know everyone admires Habitat a lot, and I have also obviously been through that time where I'm like, oh my God, Habitat, wow. But over time, this place just became a home for me. There have been, in the past, when I was doing my master's, I ended up doing it at a really terrible place. So I was going through weeks after weeks, which were terrible. So on Sundays, I would just come here. Most Sundays, I would not even perform because वो yes लिख के कुछ हो नहीं रहा था, slot नहीं मिल रहा था. But I would just come here. I would just sit and listen to people perform. And that itself felt so nice. So I think to everyone who has taken this time out on a Sunday afternoon, you could have been doing anything. You could have been sleeping. You could have just taken a nice long Sunday nap. But you chose to come here. You chose to perform. You chose to listen. So thank you so much for that. Big round of applause for all of you. This is not the end, don't worry, but this was something that really needed to be said. So thank you for choosing to spend your Sunday afternoon here. We have just very few performers left, but I'm sure you're going to show the same amount of support, right? Yes. Great. So can we please start clapping? Can we please have Naseem? Keep clapping till he comes.
हेलो मज़ा तो बहुत आ रहा है यार. एक नज़्म है और एक नज़्म जैसी गज़ल है, उसके बाद खत्म. थोड़ी सी पॉलिटिक्स भी है तो झेल लेना, जिसको पॉलिटिक्स पसंद नहीं है उसको वो भी. इससे पहले कि फिर जल उठे आशियाँ, इससे पहले कि गिरने लगे बिजलियाँ, इससे पहले कि फिर खाक हो जाए हम, क्यों ना कुछ देर बेबाक हो जाए हम. आओ मिलके चले कुछ कदम साथ हम, और मोहब्बत के नगमे पढ़े साथ हम. अब ज़रूरत न दौलत न शोहरत की है, अब ज़रूरत न दौलत न शोहरत की है, इस वतन को ज़रूरत मोहब्बत की है. अब ज़रूरत न दौलत न शोहरत की है, इस वतन को ज़रूरत मोहब्बत की है. कितना उल्फत भरा था हमारा वतन, कितना खुश रंग था ये गुलों का चमन, मगर अब देखो क्या हाल गुलशन है आज. लेकिन अब देखो क्या हाल गुलशन है आज, बुलबुलें अपने फूलों के दुश्मन है आज. बुलबुलें अपने फूलों के दुश्मन है आज. चीखती चीखती फिर रही है सबा, चीखती चीखती फिर रही है सबा, किसने बर्बाद मेरा चमन कर दिया. चीखती चीखती फिर रही है सबा, किसने बर्बाद मेरा चमन कर दिया. हर तरफ आग है, चीख है, खौफ है. हर तरफ आग है, खौफ है, चीख है. हमने किसके हवाले वतन कर दिया. हमने किसके हवाले वतन कर दिया. अब मोहब्बत ही से कुछ बहार आएगी, अब मोहब्बत ही से कुछ बहार आएगी, वरना दुनिया ये नफ़रत में उजड़ जाएगी. वरना दुनिया ये नफ़रत में उजड़ जाएगी. इस वतन के लिए, इस चमन के लिए, अपने घर आंगनों की जतन के लिए, आओ हम दिल हारने की जसारत करें, अपनी आवाज़ उठाने की हिम्मत करें. जो है अहले सियासत, सियासत करें. जो है अहले सियासत, सियासत करें. हम हैं अहले मोहब्बत, मोहब्बत करें. हम हैं अहले मोहब्बत, मोहब्बत करें. एक कि हम जो अंधेरों में कुछ दीप जलाने निकले, हम जो अंधेरों में कुछ दीप जलाने निकले, दुनिया कहने लगी हम आग लगाने निकले।
बहुत अच्छे, जिंदाबाद।
हम जो अंधेरों में कुछ दीप जलाने निकले, दुनिया कहने लगी हम आग लगाने निकले। सारे ऐवान सितम खौफ से लर्ज़ां हैं आज, सारे ऐवान सितम खौफ से लर्ज़ां हैं आज, जबकि दीवाने फ़कत खाक उड़ाने निकले, जबकि दीवाने फ़कत खाक उड़ाने निकले। और ये शेर देखें, किसका सर कब कहाँ उड़ जाए नहीं कोई खबर, किसका सर कब कहाँ उड़ जाए नहीं कोई खबर। और ये बीमार हवस ताज बनाने निकले, और ये बीमार हवस ताज बनाने निकले। जिसकी सफ़ा की वो बेदर्दी है मशहूर जहाँ, जिसकी सफ़ा की वो बेदर्दी है मशहूर जहाँ, लाखों बिस्मिल उसी कातिल के दीवाने निकले, लाखों बिस्मिल उसी कातिल के दीवाने निकले। और ये शेर देखे कि ये जो सीना है ज़रूरी नहीं हो कब्र कोई, ये जो सीना है ज़रूरी नहीं हो कब्र कोई, खोद के देखो तो मुमकिन है ख़जाने निकले, खोद के देखो तो मुमकिन है ख़जाने निकले। दो लफ्ज़ उसके बाद में बात जगह लूँगा कि है ज़बां मुँह में तो बोला कीजिए, है ज़बां मुँह में तो बोला कीजिए, दर्द है दिल में तो चीखा कीजिए, दर्द है दिल में तो चीखा कीजिए। सारे ज़ख्मों की दवा ठीक नहीं, सारे ज़ख्मों की दवा ठीक नहीं, कभी कुछ दर्द में तड़पा कीजिए, कभी कुछ दर्द में तड़पा कीजिए। आप हो जाए ना बदनाम कहीं, आप हो जाए ना बदनाम कहीं, मेरे पहलू में ना बैठा कीजिए।
क्या बात है, बहुत बढ़िया। मुझे याद नहीं दिलाना चाहिए यार, कम ऑन, बेसिक सपोर्ट। दैट वाज अमेजिंग, थैंक यू सो मच। आई फील ना दो टाइप के आर्टिस्ट होते हैं, वन हु ऑलवेज परफॉर्म, नॉट ऑलवेज, हु परफॉर्म अबाउट लव एंड हु विल ओन इट कि या। द अदर टाइप इज द पीपल हु will indirectly perform about love and heartbreak and be like, no, I am not a love poet at all. I want to say that I'm the second type. I cannot write about love. I genuinely, but I'm not exactly the second type. I'm the third type who will actually not write about love, but who will be forced to write about love. And my friend once did this to me where he wanted me to open for his show, and he's like, listen, the show is a lot about love, so you have to open with a love poem. And I was like, I don't have a love poem. I have a poem about dal chawal which is disguised as love. He's like, yeah, that works. Do you guys want to listen to that poem? Yes. I don't remember it very well, but yeah. It's called A Defense for Dal Chawal. Heard that dialogue? Shadi is dal chawal for 50 years till you die, Your Honor. My clients, Mr. Dal and Mrs. Chawal, are law-abiding citizens. They stay in their lane, contribute to the community, yet everyone brings them down. Their love is questioned, affairs are made up. My clients, Mr. Dal and Mrs. Chawal, have been married for 976873902 years. It was a love at first taste. Order. One plate dal chawal. Maintain decorum. Apologies, Your Honor. Mrs. Chawal has many admirers. Mr. Rajma, Mr. Sai Bhaji, even Miss Sai Turi. But Mrs. Chawal finds safety and comfort in her husband, Mr. Dal. Your Honor, I find safety and comfort in their union. After a long week at work and some lethargy on Saturday, on Sundays I crave pizza or perhaps even a shawarma, maybe even a chicken salad. Order. One plate. Sorry. But when I learned that dinner had been prepared in the morning itself, I I sigh. But then I learned that dinner is dal chawal. Your Honor, you would think my heart would skip a beat. It does not. My heart doesn't skip a beat. It stabilizes. For I feel relaxed. Dal chawal is comfort. The long grains of Mrs. Chawal and the yellow glow of Mr. Dal, an aroma rising from them, reaching straight to my heart, their union tastes like love. Their union tastes like beauty, Your Honor. I can't prove this in court, but I'm sure even our gods felt happy when their moms fed them dal chawal. Mr. Dal and Mrs. Chawal, scrunched up in my mom's hands when I have a 102-degree fever and she attempts to soothe me. Mr. Dal and Mrs. Chawal waiting on my plate after I've had a long, long day, waiting to restore my energy, calm my tired heart the same way a partner ought to do. Your Honor, if Shadi is like 50 years of dal chawal, then this speech, this poem, this case is a defense for marriage too. Mr. Dal and Mrs. Chawal are the best couple I know. They bring me safety, they bring me comfort. They are my definition of comfort food. Thank you. By the way, Habitat Canteen has amazing dal khichdi as well if anyone wants to order. And I honestly got to say, I love most of the food over here. It's amazing. It's very tasty. I have a special soft spot for the coffee. I don't know why. I love the coffee here a lot. So if anyone's feeling hungry, you can order something. Definitely do. It's all great. It's genuinely so great. मुझे भूख लग रही है अभी.
It's amazing.
It's amazing. It genuinely is. They're not paying me to say this. I promise. I am not being paid to say this statement. But sometimes I think the amount of money I've spent here for open mics to come and sit and watch open mics, I've probably spent more at the canteen just eating the food. It's genuinely that good. But also because I come here for open mics, I also come here for this one property Habitat has called the Creative Block Party. Do you guys know about it? Anyone? Yes? So for those of you who don't know, Creative Block Party is Habitat's IP. It's organized and run by Harsh Shah, who is a very, very dear friend and who is a poet, a storyteller. He works at Habitat. He hosts multiple times. And he runs this thing called Creative Block Party, where basically he gets a bunch of artists together, gives them more than four minutes, and tells them, come, experiment, perform. Do whatever you want to do, whatever you're hesitant to do in an open mic for any reason. Maybe you don't want to do it in an open mic, maybe it's live streamed and you don't want it to be live streamed. Whatever the reason it can be, this space is there. Just come, perform. And the audience can attend for free. No one has to pay anything, which is, I'm a Sindhi, so I really love that part as well. And it happens twice a month. Once is a Creative Block Party. The other time is a Mushaira or a Kavi Sammelan. Kavi Sammelan happened, I think, last Thursday? Yeah. The March shows will be happening really soon. So follow Creative Block Party on Instagram. And Block is BLOC. It doesn't have a K. They removed the Kajal out of Block. I don't know why. I will have a word with Harsh about it. And I will get back to you all about why that happened. It's okay. Yeah. But on a serious note, Creative Block Party is one of my favorite spaces to be. It usually happens in the weekday. So if you had a long day at work, it's the perfect space to unwind. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's the one event for which I don't mind messing up my sleep schedule. And I think that says a lot. That genuinely says a lot. So follow Habitat, follow Creative Block, and we shall now call the next performer. Can we please start clapping for Ankit?
Thank you, Kajal. Really bad timing for the food plug-in. मेरे को आने से पहले इतनी भूख लग रही है. Added to the nervousness, but yeah. All right. Time start हो गया, मैं भी शुरू हो जाता हूँ. So yeah, trigger warning, death, loss. So I'll get started. आप में से किसी ने अगर किसी अपने को खोया है तो ये उस जर्नी के बारे में जिसके लिए हमें कोई प्रिपेयर नहीं करता है. कोई स्कूल, कोई पेरेंट्स, कोई दोस्त, कोई टीचर, कोई प्रिपेयर नहीं करता है हमें इसके बारे में, और सब हमें छोड़ देते टू फेंड फॉर आवर सेल्फ. खुद से फिगर आउट करो जाके. तो ऐसे ही किसी अपने के चले जाने के बाद की जर्नी के बारे में मैंने लिखा था, किसी अपने का चले जाना। तुम चले गए और छोड़ गए पीछे मुझे अकेला। तुम चले गए और सूना कर गए अनगिनत लोगों से भरा ये दुनिया का मेला। तुम्हारे बाद तुम्हारा कमरा अब काटने को दौड़ता है। उसके बाहर से गुजरने पर तुम्हारे गम का एहसास कपा देता है, गम की चादर को मन ओढ़ता है। तुम्हारे कपड़े, बर्तन, रोज़मर्रा के इस्तेमाल की चीज़ें, इनका क्या करूं तुम बताओ मैं। रखे रहने दूं यहीं या अपनी रूह का ये हिस्सा किसी ज़रूरतमंद को दे। थोड़ी लंबी उम्र की दुआएं तो बटोर लूं, लेकिन एक बार फिर जीते जी मर जाऊं मैं। फ़ोन में तुम्हारी तस्वीरें और वीडियो देख हर रोज़ तुम्हें याद करूं, या हिम्मत बंधा खुद को धीरे धीरे ही सही इस सदमे से अब आगे बढ़ूं। इस सदमे से अब आगे बढ़ूं। अब कुछ समय हो गया तुम्हें गए हुए, पर फिर भी जब भी कोई तुम्हारे बारे में पूछता है ना, तो ऊपर से तो बहुत काम एंड कंपोज रहता हूँ, पर अंदर से कांप जाता हूँ मैं। जिक्र जब करता हूँ तुम्हारा तो आंखें नम और होठ अब भी थरथरा जाते हैं। अंदर छिपी तुम्हारी यादों को जैसी गहरी नींद से ये अल्फाज जगा जाते हैं, जैसे गहरी नींद से ये अल्फाज जगा जाते हैं। थोड़ा अभी मेरे को वापस ऐसे हिट कर रहा है। गहरी नींद से ये अल्फाज जगा जाते हैं। ज़िंदगी का कोई बड़ा मौका हो वो फीका सा लगता है। तुम्हारी कमी के काले बादल जैसे उस पर भी मंडरा जाते हैं। ये मोह जो है ना, ये हमें फंसा के रखता है। कोई अपना अगर दर्द में हो तो एक तरफ मन चाहता है कि वो वहीं रहें, उनका साथ बहुत ज़रूरी है, और दूसरी तरफ हम उनका दर्द देख भी नहीं पाते और खुद ही उनकी मुक्ति मिल जाए उन्हें, ये मांगते हैं। तुम चले तो गए पर कुछ चीज़ें अभी भी साथ में करनी बाकी थी। सुबह उठकर जो तुमसे बात करता था अब किससे करूं। तनख्वाह से तुम्हें जो तोहफे दिलाने थे अब किसे दिलाऊं। जल्दी मिलने का जो वादा था अब किससे निभाऊं, अब किससे निभाऊं। तुम चले तो गए पर तुम्हारी यादों की बसाई हुई ये बस्ती कैसे मिटाऊं। बताओ कौन सा बुलडोज़र चलाऊं। हम चेकलिस्ट बनाते रहते हैं जागते हुए, जीते जागते, कि ये करेंगे वो करेंगे, और एकदम भस करके एक मोमेंट आता है और वो सब चेकलिस्ट धरी की धरी रह जाती हैं। पर उसके बाद भी लगता है कि नहीं, कुछ चीज़ें तुम्हारे और मेरे रिश्ते के लिए मैं ज़रूर करूँगा। तुमसे जो वादे किए थे वो सब मैं पूरे करूँगा। जहाँ जाना तुम्हें था वहाँ मैं चला जाऊँगा। जिसे मिलना तुम्हें था उससे मैं मिलाऊँगा। जो प्लेट में खाना तुम्हारा था उसे मैं खाऊँगा। हर वो वादा पूरा करूँगा जो तुमसे किया था। हर वो वादा करूँगा जो तुमसे मैंने किया था। ज़िंदगी की ख्वाहिशों के बीच हमारा रिश्ता जैसे ज़रूरत है, नून तेल है। हमारा रिश्ता जैसे नून तेल है। तो अब जब तुम्हारे जाने के बारे में इतना टाइम हो गया और सोच भी चुका हूँ, तब भी आखिरी में यही समझ में आता है कि आखिरी में यहीं तक ही जा पाता हूँ कि ज़िंदगी की इस दुनिया में, इस जर्नी में कोई भी आ जाए नया, दिमाग कितनी भी नई लोगों से गुफ्तगू कर ले, मन तो मेरा ये तुम्हें कहाँ ही भूल पाएगा। मन तो ये मेरा अब तुम्हें कहाँ ही भूल पाएगा। थैंक यू सो मच।
Thank you. That was beautiful. I genuinely have no words. There are sometimes, the thing about poetry and art is that you just get to feel. You get to feel so many emotions. You get to feel what someone else is feeling. And it's wonderful. So thank you. That's all I feel that's all I should say. Just thank you. Can I perform a poem and a short story? Works? Yes, of course. चलो, मैं ऐसे करने तो वाली थी वैसे, but consent is important. So, yeah. So I will first perform this poem. Then I will tell you all when I wrote it and how I wrote it. And then I will try to do something. So I do this one thing. Are you okay? Do you want to step out? Just step out. Aram se, please. Sorry. Let's continue. Yeah. So I do this one thing where when I write poems, I don't know what I'm going to end up writing. I think most of us don't know what we will end up writing. And personally, I understand my feelings when I write my poems. So I'm going to try this one thing today where I am going to try and understand my feelings while I talk about it on stage. Because there's this one thing that one happy thing that I haven't processed yet at all. So I'm going to try and talk about that on stage and see if I can process that. And I would like to invite you all to come on this journey with me. So first, the poem. Are there poems inside me? I think perhaps my first word was poetry. You see, I breathe in poetry, exhale out rhymes. It's a tale since the beginning of all times. Poems swirl inside me, mix with my blood. I write and write, otherwise one day I shall flood. For my body is made up of poems, each cell a verse, and if I didn't have my poetry, life would be a curse. I love to read and write poetry. I love to breathe poetry, perform poems on stage, sometimes serene, sometimes full of rage. My poems will tell you about me. For you see, I am a very shy person. I forget to talk even when I'm spoken to, but put me on stage and give me a mic and I will talk for you too. I write my poetry for me, but I hope it resonates with you. Poetry is the reason I'm alive, the reason I continue to strive. Thank you. Do you all know about this one fest called the Spoken Fest?
Yeah.
So in 2022, I attended Spoken Fest for the second time, and when it got over, I was just sitting there on the grass. Actually, I was not even sitting. At one point, I was just lying down on the grass, and I could just feel this poem coming inside of me. So I took out my notebook and I wrote this. And the reason Spoken Fest was very special for me, and while I was writing this, I was looking at the main stage, I was looking at the island stage, and I was like, you know what, one day I am going to perform here. And I was like, next Spoken Fest, I'm going to be here. And Spoken Fest just happened like 3 weeks ago. Creative Block Party did a lineup. I told you all about Creative Block Party. They did a lineup at the Modern Voices stage. I was a part of that lineup. I performed at Spoken Fest, and you know, everyone says Spoken Fest is the biggest fest for spoken word poetry in all of Asia, but for me it was so much more than that, because in 2020, I was in my final year of college. I wasn't sure what I was doing with my life. I thought I'm going to go to the UK to do my master's. And of course, we all know COVID did happen. But that was my plans. I had filled out applications. I was already hearing back from universities. And I had started looking for like houses and all of that stuff. And I wasn't sure if I was making the right choice or not. I attended Spoken Fest in 2020. And when I was sitting there on the grass, just watching people perform, and I'd always loved the idea of performing. I'd always loved it. But I never realized that this is something I can actually do, or this is something people actually do very regularly. And some people do it for a living. And I sat there on the grass just thinking and watching, and I was like, wow. And something inside me changed forever that day. And I told myself, you know what? UK, though, if I'll leave by August. This was Spoken Fest that year had happened in January. I told myself, I will leave by August. Time to hai. Exams will get over by like April, maximum May. I'll have a lot of work, lot of things to do, visa, applications, this and that. But I'll attend open mics. I'll give this performing thing a proper shot before I leave India. Of course, I didn't end up leaving India because COVID happened and my final exams were delayed. So my application, like the acceptance letter I got from the university, was not valid anymore because I couldn't fulfill the conditions. But in 2021, I started performing properly at open mics. And I realized that this is something I really want to do, and this is something I want to do. And I feel I'm an artist first and a person later. So 4 years after that first time I attended Spoken Fest, 3 years after I started performing, I ended up performing at Spoken Fest. And I think I can never really put into words what that experience was. Woo! But Ash was there. He's been so sweet and supportive. I ended up editing a reel out of the videos he has shot. I've not shown him the reel. I'll show it to you. I haven't been able to put that out because I'm like, yaar, मैं caption में लिखूं क्या? I work in social media, by the way. It is my literal job to make posts and to write the caption also. It's a part of my JD, but इसके कैप्शन में क्या लिखूं? How am I supposed to express this? So yeah, I just thought since I have this moment right now, I wanted to talk about it because I always say I'm an artist first and a person later. So yeah, I just wanted to share this with everyone. So thank you for listening. Thank you for helping me process this.
Whatever you said now, that should be your caption. You have the video. Just take it.
Done. I will upload the reel today after the open mic. Y'all can follow me on Instagram, by the way. If y'all liked my hosting, or even if y'all didn't, y'all can still follow. It's Poetic Perspective. And if I don't upload the reel by tonight, feel free to message me and be like, reel kahan hai? Okay? Done? Great. Thanks for the pressure. But we are now coming to an end. It's very sad. But we have one performer left. It's very sad that we are coming to the end. I mean, I am really enjoying. I love that all of you are still here and no one has gone yet. So that's great. We have one more performer left. And I hope you all will give her the same amount of support you'll have shown from the start. So can we start clapping? Till she comes here, can we please have Karishma?
Hi guys. So I would take an opportunity right now to thank 3 incredible friends of mine who came here. We live under the same roof. We share the same room. And they jhelofy my performances day and night. Just that mic, instead of a mic, I have a hairbrush in my hand and they are just listening to me. Okay, so let's start. ये कहानी है एक सेक्स वर्कर की जो मैंने अपने शब्दों में एक कविता के रूप में बुनी है. ताकती झांकती देखती रहती वो रंगीन हसीन ख्वाबों की दुनिया, आखिर कितना ही सहती मैं या मेरी तितर भितर सी ये खिड़कियाँ. कहाँ सही कहते हैं लोग, कौन सी राह है जो ले जाए मंजिल की ओर. मुझे तो ये राहें ये सड़कें लाई हैं यहाँ जहाँ तबाह होती आई हैं कई जिंदगियाँ. कहाँ सही कहते हैं लोग, कैसे वीक बीतता है वक्त जल्द ही. यहाँ तो वक्त कुछ ऐसा है जनाब कि बेशक बीतता है, आखिर बेदर्द गुजरता क्यों नहीं. ना समझो सिलवटें इन्हें मेरे टूटे बिखरे पड़े ख्वाबों के निशां हैं. ना समझो सिलवटें इन्हें मेरे टूटे बिखरे पड़े ख्वाबों के निशां हैं. कहाँ बनाए हैं इंसान भगवान ने, यहाँ तो चारों दिशाओं में दरिंदे ही पाए हैं. घर से दूर कहीं बाज़ारों में थी मैं खोई, कुछ लोग पीछे थे मेरे आए, लगा जैसे चल रही हो कोई पकड़म पकड़ाई. ज़्यादा दूर नहीं भाग पाई, कुछ ही पलों में उनके हाथ में आई. फिर क्या लाई थी यहाँ मैं गई. जब होश आया खूब फूट फूट कर थी मैं रोई. थे वो मारते मुझे, बंद किया करते छोटे से कमरे में वो मुझे. मैं नन्ही सी जान सिसक सिसक कर रोती, चिल्लाती बिलकती. नहीं दिया किसी ने ध्यान, पैसे जो कमाने की ली थी उन्होंने ठान. कितनी सुबह कितनी शामें, कितने महीने या जाने कितने साल, आखिर कोई बताए हमें भी वक्त कैसे बीतता है जल्द ही. यहाँ वक्त कुछ ऐसा है जनाब बेशक गुजरता है, आखिर बेदर्द बीतता क्यों नहीं. तो ये कहानी थी एक सेक्स वर्कर की फ्रॉम कमाटीपुरा. सो I would actually want her to listen to this. After I reach home, I'll send this to her, or I'll make sure I go there and show it to her. So, bro, this is for you. Thank you.
That was incredible. I think it takes a lot to write for someone and to write from their perspective. So thank you for doing that, and I hope you get to show that poem. Wow. Guys, this is unfortunately the end of the open mic. But, I will not let you all go just like that. Don't worry. So I read out 2 lines at the start of the open mic. और मुझे ना वो पोएम बराबर से याद है नहीं, to be honest. But I'm going to try. If I forget, it's fine. Let's try it. तालियों की गूंज से कलाकार का पेट भरता है. तालियों की गूंज से कलाकार का पेट भरता है. अब तुम क्या जानो वो किस उम्मीद पे मरता है. कोई आएगा उसकी पहचान बनाएगा. कोई आएगा उसकी पहचान बनाएगा. कलाकार रुकता है. रुकते रुकते मरता है. उसे वह मंच से प्रेम है. उसे वह मंच से प्रेम है. वहाँ बार बार जाने की तरस में वह मरता है. We'll jump to the last one. कलाकार बन के क्या कर लोगे काजल. कलाकार बनकर क्या कर लोगे काजल. वाओ. समाज से ताने खाता है. समाज से ताने खाता है, पर कलाकार अपनी कला के खातिर ही मरता है. थैंक यू. Thank you to everyone who has come here and spent your Sunday afternoon here with poetry. Thank you for performing, for listening. I hope you had a wonderful time. The photos have been clicked. Don't worry. You will get them. You can message me tonight and ask me why I have not posted the reel. But please don't message Habitat or the photographers and ask mera photo kahan hai. They have events right after now as well. They have events up to 12 a.m. I think. So it will take a while and the photos will come to you via DM. So just patience. Don't message anyone. I will personally make sure that they get sent. Yeah. I'm looking at you. Just letting you know. No, but genuinely, because I know the amount of effort they all put, and I know it takes a lot of time and hard work, so just please be patient. The live stream, though, is up. You can check it out. You can download your video. You can download the live stream. You can trim your video, edit it, put it out on Reels. If you do, please credit Habitat for the video. And I follow everyone on Instagram. Follow Indie Habitat. Follow Creative Block Party. And keep supporting art and artists. And I would like to call all the performers on stage for a group photo.
And follow Poetic Perspective.
वो भी कर ही लो अभी. I mean, कर लो. No, but please, all performers on stage, just for one group photo.